My whole life changed when I got that phone call. My grandparent had passed away only a few months apart from old age and left me $20 million. I couldn't believe it. My name is Jane, 28 years old, and I was getting my life back in order when my ex-husband decided to drop back into my life. Sony, 30 years old, was the love of my life, but after mental and physical abuse, I had to let him go. It was a hard time in my life because I still loved him, but I knew I had to let him go for good in order for me to heal. But that didn't last long now, did it? After leaving my ex-husband, I wanted to start anew by returning to school and pursuing my dreams of opening my own restaurant. I decided to go to community college because it was cheaper. I decided to do major in business. But when my grandparents passed, they left me a lump sum of money that would surely help me in all my endeavors. Hell, I didn't need school anymore, but I knew that if I wanted a long-lasting career in the restaurant business, it would do me best if I kept at it. This all changed though when I bumped into Sony. I was getting my usual coffee at the same spot I always get it from, down the street from campus.
Hey, stranger.
He smiled at me, his ever so charming smile already putting me under his spell. Hey, long time no see. What brings you around here? I tried to keep it casual with him even if he didn't deserve it. Call me weak, but it's hard to stay mad when you have loved someone with all your heart longer than you like to admit. I used to make excuses for how he treated me, and a part of me still does. This could be the main reason why he was able to sneak back into my life so easily.
I heard about your grandparents through the grapevine. I'm sorry to hear that.
No need for apologies. I'll miss them dearly. They lived a long and happy life together.
They sure did.
You didn't answer my question though. What brings you around here by campus?
I needed to be sure you were okay, Jane. I know the divorce is finalized, but I still care about you. You should know that.
My heart ached for him still. How can a man be so sweet and so evil all at the same time? Thank you, but I don't need your support anymore. I replied weakly, trying to convince myself.
I know. I miss you. And that may be wrong of me to put onto you, and for that, I'm sorry as well. I knew your grandparents well at one point, and their love always inspired me to try to do better. And now that they're gone, I want to make that promise.
What are you getting at?
Give me a second chance. I have changed. Just one date. That's it.
I know I should have shut it down right then and there, but no. I was enamored by him. The way he spoke, the twinkle in his eyes. One date wouldn't hurt, right? I was so very wrong. The date went absolutely amazing. He recreated our first dinner date at the park. And then we went to an outdoor movie theater. He was perfect. We went on a few dates after, and it only got better and better with time. Could he really change? Boy, was I gullible. I wish I could say that he put me under a spell and that's why I fell back in love with him so quickly, but the reality is I never fell out of love. Sony even persuaded me to not go back to school.
Honey, with that money, what's the point of wasting it away? Look what you can do with it. You can invest it in stocks and let it build.
I guess, but you know that I have always had a dream to open my own restaurant.
There are better dreams, like building a family with you and me and 2 little ones.
The thought of little children resembling him made my heart swoon. But how could it? How can I quickly forget the torture he put me through? I am still trying to forgive myself, but my therapist tells me it will take time. A few months went by and he began asking about moving in together. I was much against it as I felt like we were moving too fast. Sony started to get annoyed because I wasn't relenting this time. If he had been patient with me, maybe I would have still been too blinded to see the truth. One night during dinner, he brought it up again and he wasn't dropping the topic. We were washing the dinner plates when it happened.
I don't get it. We are with each other every other day. Why don't we just save the gas and the rent and be together?
I just don't want us to go so fast. I have the money to provide for myself.
It could be ours.
He mumbled. What could be?
The money. If you allowed me to help you invest, you may have already doubled your profits, but no, you have to be dumb with your spending.
How is it dumb? I am saving steadily and I am not overspending. What more is there to be asked of?
You just don't see the big picture.
Now, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just drop it.
Usually, I would have listened. But since our first major breakup, I grew a bit of a backbone. Well, you're the one saying I'm spending my money dumbly and I want to know why.
I said drop it.
His voice was growing testy. As expected, his anger issues had arisen. He would snap at me at random times, and I tried to tell him that if he didn't try correcting his behavior, a separation would happen again. The next day, he was always better, and I would soon again. I hated how weak and twisted I was because of him. But things changed again. His patience grew thin, and he pressed again about moving in together the following week.
Why are you so stubborn?
I'm not. I just think we need time.
I am sick of the excuses. It sounds like you don't love me.
How can you say that?
Then move in with me. It's that simple.
Sonny,
Jane, I'm so sick of the excuses.
I could tell he was getting upset again. Instead of trying to calm him down, I wanted to try a different approach. Maybe I should give you time to cool down. Do you want to talk on the phone tomorrow?
Where the hell are you going?
I can tell you're getting upset and I don't want us to fight, so I was just going to call it for a night.
Pathetic.
He mumbled. I got up from the couch, but as I passed him, he grabbed my wrist.
No, stay.
It's okay, I'm not mad. We can just talk tomorrow.
Does it look like I care if you're mad?
He swung me back on the couch and I felt my inside scream. He turned over to me, his body in between my open legs.
Pathetic, miserable woman. When will you realize that you will never want to leave me? I'm the best you are ever going to get.
Don't talk to me like that.
I can talk to you however I want.
He taunted, grabbing my chin roughly between his fingers. It was at that moment I knew he had tricked me. He hadn't changed a thing about him. Sonny was quick to use nasty jabs and rough hands. Believe me, this was the startup from before. It starts with a grab, a push, and it gradually raises the stakes to a slap across the face or a push down the stairs. He said it was an accident. I didn't know how I was going to escape again, if I ever was, at least mentally. But even after he pushed me down the stairs, even when I woke up in the hospital, I still somehow allowed him back into my life. I had to do something dramatic to break from his mental hold. I played along with his disgusting words and hands that night and relived the moments word to word.
Pathetic, miserable woman. When are you going to realize that you will never want to leave me? I'm the best you are ever going to get.
He really believed that, so instead, I had to show Sonny the real Jane that was held back by the idea of him. That weekend, I contrived a plan that would sever the nerve. I know some people will think of this as extreme, but I know myself. As long as he keeps coming back, I will take him in with open arms. He has to be the one to leave and stay gone. To make up with him, I told Sonny that I wanted to take him on a romantic getaway with just him and I, my treat. And that during our trip we can discuss the semantics of moving in together and sharing the wealth because I don't know how to use money. He agreed, and so that weekend we went off. I rented a secluded cabin up north near the mountains. I told him we were only staying for 2 days, but in reality, I rented for 5 as the maids and the cabin owners wouldn't arrive until then. When we got there, I started my plans in motion. We drank some wine, or should I say Sonny did. I kept pouring mine down the sink or a nearby plant when he wasn't looking. With time, he got intoxicated. Things began to heat up when we started kissing. I led him to the bedroom and laid him down. I have a surprise for you.
And what's that?
He slurred. I whipped out a pair of handcuffs.
Ooh, how sweet. Are those for you?
He teased me. I shook my head. Can you go first? Come on, darling. It will be fun.
Okay, only one hand though.
He relented easily. I thanked the wine for that. So I did as I was told and latched one of the cuffs to the bed frame. I continued to kiss him, but in my back pocket I had another pair of handcuffs waiting for him. I laid his other hand against the headboard. He was kissing my neck, distracted. I then latched the second pair. He moved his head away from me.
Wait, what are you doing?
He laughed slightly, but I could tell there's something else hidden in his voice. Just having fun. I dropped the facade almost immediately and stood from the bed, staring blankly into his eyes.
I don't know if I like this. Uncuff me.
No.
What did you just say?
Sony, I'm tired of this, aren't you?
What are you even talking about?
I took a deep breath to try to calm myself down. He wasn't going to win this time. You are going to go back to your old ways.
Jane, this is crazy. Let's talk like adults.
You are going to hurt me again, and I am not letting you this time. I screamed. You know what that means? Your bruises led to scratches and cuts, and then you might end up pushing me down the stairs again. You aren't good for me. Sony only stared at me before blowing the loudest laugh yet, tears streaming across his face.
So leave me. Stop answering your phone and leave me.
I wish it were that simple. Sony sighed and tilted his head down.
You're acting as if you're going to leave me here. Stop messing around, Jane. This is dumb.
But the funny thing is, I am. There was a moment of silence. Then Sony began thrashing against the restraints.
Let me out of here right now, Jane. I'm not joking.
No.
I swear to God, when I'm done with you, there won't be a mark I hadn't touched. Let me out.
You won't touch me, Sony. Because who has the money? Me or you? I do. We can go straight to the court and I can have the best lawyers on my side.
You think they'll be on your side if they find out you kidnapped me?
My lawyers? Yes, I can hear them now. A helpless, pathetic woman fights for her right to freedom from an emotional and physical abuser. And you know the best part? I still have the pictures of my face when you pushed me. He took in a sharp breath.
What?
I never told anyone what you did or shared the photos because of my love for you, but hey, you threaten me, I'll threaten you twice as hard. What other rebuttals do you have? Murder? Because we know how well you'll do in prison now.
If all this is for me to leave you alone, I will. It's done.
Thank you, but you have said that before. I'm going to need you to promise me by staying here a few days.
You're insane.
No, I'm just tired. I left him there with one single bottle of water near his feet. If he has the leg power, he could kick it up to himself. He was there for 5 whole days, and by the end of it, the owners called me in concern about finding Sony. Sony was sitting in his own urine feces. He was starved and dehydrated. I had to pay a fine for damages to the bed, but hey, at least Sony was out of my life for good. I hadn't seen or talked to him since. What do you guys think? Was I too harsh on Sony? Personally, for me, I think I could have gone a softer approach, but then I remembered how long I was in the hospital and then I changed my mind quickly after. I would love to know your opinions in the comments below.